Now, Kamala Harris, this is the leader that y'all wanted. Watch this utter disaster at this town hall with CNN.
Is there something you can point to in your life, political life or in your life in the last 4 years, that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
I mean, I've made many mistakes. And they range from, if you've ever parented a child, you make lots of mistakes too. In my role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
Somebody said the face you make when the Bluetooth earrings ain't working. Oh my gosh, Kamala Harris, what type of answer was that? It doesn't get any more inhumane than that. That was the moment she could have just been, you know what, I made some mistakes, I've done this, I've done that, but no. She wanted to take the route, you know what I mean, which is nothing. Somebody said, I listened to the whole thing, gave me a migraine and killed off some of my brain cells. I've never heard someone answer such a wide variety of questions with the same words. I don't know, man. I don't even know how it can be possible that in every interview she does, the bar just continues to get lower and lower. At this point, it's just insane, Mark Cuban needs to go ahead and join the campaign with her right now. Her campaign is over. I'm going to just say that. Somebody said, could you define mistake for me, Anderson Cooper? Can you use it in a sentence? Right. She definitely should have used the lifeline in that scenario. But it's wild times. But Anderson Cooper is fact-checking Kamala Harris on her town hall. That's how you know even CNN knows that Kamala is full of it.
Under Donald Trump, you criticized the wall more than 50 times. You called it stupid, useless, and a medieval vanity project. Is a border wall stupid?
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump and that border wall. So remember, Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it? Come on, they didn't. How much of that wall did he build? I think the last number I saw is about 2%. And then when it came time for him to do a photo op, you know where he did it? In the part of the wall that President Obama built.
But you're agreeing to a bill that would earmark $650 million to continue building that wall.
I pledge that I am going to bring forward that bipartisan bill to further strengthen and secure our border. Yes, I am. And I'm going to work across the aisle to pass a comprehensive bill that deals with a broken immigration system. I think Jackson's question, part of it was to acknowledge that America has always had migration, but there needs to be a legal process for it. People have to earn it. And that's the point that I think is the most important point that can be made, which is we need a president who is grounded in common sense and practical outcomes. Like, let's just fix this thing. Let's just fix it. Why is there any ideological perspective on this? Let's just fix the problem.
To fix the problem, you're doing this compromise bill. It does call for $650 million that was earmarked under Trump to actually still go to build the wall.
I am not afraid of good ideas where they occur.
So you don't think it's stupid anymore?
I think what he did and how he did it did not make much sense because he actually didn't do much of anything. I just talked about that wall, right? We just talked about it. He didn't actually do much of anything.
But you do want to build some wall.
I want to strengthen our border.
The more and more I watch this, the more I'm thinking to myself about that comment. I'm going, the biggest mistake they made was forgetting to sneak that teleprompter into that town hall. That was honestly the biggest mistake, man. Come on, man. Kamala is perfect. She's the perfect candidate. You watch this yourself. I mean, it's right in this. It's not me. I'm not even making any jokes. Okay, I'm reading some, but man, at this point, she's the queen of cringe. I don't understand. I think today we can expect Anderson Cooper to come out wearing his MAGA hat. We've been seeing a lot of Democrats, behind the scenes being, I love the pander to the crowd moment that she tries to connect with, but I love to see it not work. And somebody says, I was thinking, what person on the planet would argue that Kamala's town hall meeting went well?
understand that, again, in 13 days, the American people will decide who is the next president of the United States. In 13 days, you will decide who is sitting in the Oval Office on January 20th. And on one hand, you have in Donald Trump someone who has increasingly proved himself to be unstable, and who, as we have established and the people close to him have established, he is unfit to serve. Somebody who on January 20th, you can be sure, will spend full time, like we know, and we've seen the image mentally of him sitting in the dining room off of the Oval Office, watching for hours as people violently attack the Capitol. You can be sure, because he has said he would weaponize the Department of Justice to go after his political enemies, that you can look at a Donald Trump in the White House after January 20th, sitting in that Oval Office, plotting his revenge. He has talked about the enemies within. We haven't even raised that subject, Anderson. The enemies within. He's talking about the American people. He's talking about journalists, judges, nonpartisan election officials. He has talked about, as John Kelly has talked about, can he send the military after peaceful protesters? And he's going to sit there unstable, unhinged, plotting his revenge, plotting his retribution, creating an enemies list. I'm going to tell you, my list will be a list of how I address and continue to address the issues that you all are raising this afternoon and evening. It will be a to-do list about how we can impact the American people and lift up the American people and address some of the challenges that we continue to face.
I mean, at this point, why even, provide commentary to the next clip? It's just going to be as cringe as the next. So I'll just say, sadly, Kamala, she just must believe the voters. We have too little intelligence to grasp the simple fact that, as voters are, her job was to secure the border, and she didn't.
Regarding the rapid increase in the migrant population, how will you ensure that every immigrant is integrated into American society safely? What benefits and subsidies will you provide them with? And how long will these benefits and subsidies last for an individual? Most importantly, will the American citizens' taxes pay for these benefits and subsidies? And if so, how much money will be allocated?
Well, thank you, Jackson. Let's start with this. America's immigration system is broken and it needs to be fixed. And it's been broken for a long time. And part of what we need to do is always prioritize what we need to do to strengthen our border. I will tell you, I'm the only person in this race among the two choices that voters have. I've personally prosecuted transnational criminal organizations in the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. I have spent a significant part of my career making sure that our border is secure and that we do not allow criminals in and we don't allow that kind of trafficking to happen and come into our country. And as my opponent has proven himself, he would prefer to run on the problem instead of fix the problem.
We already had you in the office. Why you keep speaking as if you... I like Trump War Room. They put this perfect. CNN, you've been in the White House for 4 years. Why haven't you done any of this already? Kamala's response, quote, I'm pointing out things that need to be done that haven't been done, that need to be done that haven't been done. Really, that's all this town meeting was. Seriously. It was really you know what I mean? Like, honestly, I even see they have RFK Jr. flips the script on Kamala's lies about Trump using the military for the public. I don't even think we got to her segue for me to even segue to that first. But what I really want you to see is how CNN responds to this. Even CNN, they're embarrassed by this. I'm trying to scroll up to the clip. But yeah, it was so bad. The Kamala's town hall meeting was so bad. Even CNN, people interviewed her, calling her out.
Republicans would take another hour of Kamala Harris. We'd just press play, let her keep going. We'd pay for another hour to let her keep not answering the questions. I think Anderson's asking her, well, why haven't you done it? You've been there for 4 years. Why have you done any of this? And the word salad answer she gave to that was just mind-boggling. I mean, it's blown up the internet, her answer to that question. I think the things that are troubling for people were her responses to, Van said about what you're going to do to reduce costs when they asked her at the beginning. We're hurting economically. She said, I'm going to prosecute corporations, right? That's not going to lower costs. How are you going to make things better for me? I'm going to prosecute people. Trump bad is not a message that's going to get her elected. Trump bad message. I disagree with.
All right, my friends, kings and queens. First of all, thank y'all for bearing with me and through all of my ups and downs. And I know y'all still waiting on me to be giving these like random heart-to-hearts in the middle of my videos and can't even keep track. But I know y'all been asking about my health issues and all that. I will get to that, I promise. Nothing crazy. I promise I'm doing good and all that good stuff. Personal life, got some issues here and there. Yeah, y'all can tell. But anyhow, back to this. Instead of letting y'all cringe through this whole video and while I vent just slightly, I promise you I'm okay. Kamala Harris town hall meeting was so, event, I guess, was a complete disaster. Shout out to Colin Rudd for posting this because he posted her 7 worst moments. Cringe with me, guys.
What weaknesses do you bring to the table and how do you plan to overcome them while you're in office?
That's a great question, Joe. Well, I am certainly not perfect. So let's start there. And I think that perhaps a weakness, some would say, but I actually think it's a strength, is I really do value having a team of very smart people around me who bring to my decision-making process different perspectives. My team will tell you, I am constantly saying, let's kick the tire on that. Let's kick the tires on it.
Is there something you can point to in your life, political life or in your life in the last 4 years, that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
I mean, I've made many mistakes, and they range from, if you've ever parented a child, you make lots of mistakes too. In my role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
So you've been in the White House for 4 years. You were vice president, not the president. But why wasn't any of that done for the last 4 years?
Well, there was a lot that was done, but there's more to do, Anderson. And I'm pointing out things that need to be done, that haven't been done, but need to be done. Thank you, Eric. And you're absolutely right. You know it. I know it. I think most Americans know it. Price of groceries is still too high. Well, I may not be quick to have the answer as soon as you ask it about a specific policy issue sometimes, because I'm going to want to research it. I'm going to want to study it. I'm kind of a nerd sometimes, I confess.
2022, 2023, there were record border crossings. Your administration took hundreds of executive actions. It didn't stem the flow. Numbers kept going up. Finally, in 2024, just in June, 3 weeks before the first presidential debate with Joe Biden, you institute executive actions that had a dramatic impact, really shut down people crossing over. Why didn't your administration do that in 2022, 2023?
First of all, you're exactly right, Anderson. And as of today, we have cut the flow of immigration by over half. In fact, the numbers I saw most recently, illegal immigration.
But if it was
low.
That easy with that executive action, why not do it in 2022, 2023?
Because we were working with Congress and hoping that actually we could have a long-term fix to the problem instead of a short-term fix.
You couldn't have done one and both at the same time?
Well, here's the thing. We have to understand that ultimately this problem is going to be fixed through congressional action.
Is a border wall stupid?
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump and that border wall. So remember, Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it? Come on, they didn't.
But you're agreeing to a bill that would earmark $650 million to continue building that wall.
I pledge that I am going to bring forward that bipartisan bill. Let's just fix the problem.
To fix the problem, you're doing this compromise bill. It does call for $650 million that was earmarked under Trump to actually still go to build the wall.
I am not afraid of good ideas where they occur.
So you don't think it's stupid anymore?
I think what he did and how he did it did not make much sense, because he actually didn't do much of anything. I just talked about that wall, right? We just talked about it. He didn't actually do much of anything.
But you do want to build some wall.
I want to strengthen our border.
That was not a total train wreck. At least now Kamala can say one of her biggest mistakes was doing CNN town hall. Oh man. The more Kamala is put in front of people, the more people dislike her. So y'all keep doing it.